welcome traders. So it is Thursday, the 11th of December. Sorry, I'm running behind a little bit this week. Personally just a bit run down, and I think heading towards the holidays, everything is just kind of compounding. So my apologies. Now, let's have a quick look at what's going on in the markets. First of all, we have got a confirmed uptrend for euro dollar, but that's on the daily. If we step away, we go have a look at the weekly. And of course, the monthly, don't forget the wheel's still stuck within a range. But we are currently working our way up towards the top of the range. So we've got a little bit of a hint here that the dollar itself is currently weakening. And what I'd like to do is just quickly go back and have a look. Last night, FOMC decided to obviously cut rates further. And I just wanted to show the market's reaction to that so we could see that we've got a lot more wicks showing up here at the top. A lot of wicks at the bottom. So the markets, and this is something that seems to be showing up in a lot of the charts, the markets are kind of ranging a little bit, even though they are kind of drifting in a particular direction. This is something I haven't really seen before, and I think it's likely due to the general uncertainty around the US administration and possible impact of tariffs, as well as running up into the holidays. I think it's possible the markets are just a bit exhausted. Nevertheless, that is just an observation I have made here. So we actually saw a temporary strengthening of the US dollar for a few minutes before it ultimately decided to start weakening again, which is much more in line with what we would expect if you cut rates. Let's have a look at GBP. So GBP, the difference is that this is definitely in an uptrend, and actually it's not even a terrible uptrend. The quality of it isn't that bad. We could see some nice rhythm. It's pulling back to fib levels. We could see the moving averages are reordering here. So what does that actually mean? It means that for now, I see buying as a good opportunity against the dollar. If we have a look at Kiwi dollar as well, we could see a nice little consolidation before a little bit of a move higher, but we definitely are breaking these previous highs. And so again, the Kiwi is strengthening against the US dollar. Now we move across onto dollar yen, and dollar yen has always been marching to the beat of its own drum. This one at the same time is setting up here with a relatively bullish candle, and we might find ultimately that as the yen itself, I beg your pardon, is currently just continuing to weaken, we might find that this trend ultimately stays intact. Now, one of the better trade setups that's on my watch list for this coming week, so this will be either, I'd be surprised if it's Friday, but it'll be Friday, Monday, or Tuesday. I'm looking for a nice bullish candle here on CADCHF. Let me just explain the trade idea to you. So essentially, we've got this very consistent longer term downtrend with the Swiss franc, which continues to strengthen. Obviously, every now and again, we get a couple of months where it actually weakens. This is just part of the normal ebb and flow of the markets, and we're currently enjoying one of those periods. And if I go down to the daily, we can see that we've actually hit a bit of a double bottom. So this would be a nice level of support. This daily trend has rejected it. It has shifted into an uptrend. And it is highly probable that it is going to work its way up as part of that monthly pullback. It is going to go into a temporary uptrend on the daily before it possibly continues the longer term downtrend. So this is what I'm looking for. We'll see if this ultimately plays out, but I'm looking for a nice bullish candle to form here in the next 1 or 2 or 3 candles here, and looking for a buying opportunity, which I'll be targeting up towards the next high, but it should provide a relatively decent reward to risk trade setup. In addition to that, just going back here, a couple of the yen charts are looking very good. Euro yen continues to move higher again. A pullback here into this previous level of resistance could provide a nice buying opportunity. Pound yen also pulling back into this level of resistance could provide a nice buying opportunity. And there's a few, actually, I'm quite impressed. Aussie yen also pulling back here, nice and overextended, nice little pullback here. So the yen crosses, believe it or not, are offering some of the best, safest, highest probability trades. Nothing is guaranteed in life, but these setups look particularly good. That being said, let's move on to gold. Let me get rid of that. Let's go on to gold. Sorry, my hotkeys decided to stop working all of a sudden there. So gold is battling some resistance currently at the moment. It is still forming a bit of a bullish ascending triangle. So this one here can just continue to go up there. And again, I think as we head towards the holidays, it's very possible the markets are just going into a bit of a coma. If you look here, this is almost 2 weeks on gold of not really doing anything, but a consolidation can also be seen as a nice relax. It's recharging its batteries, getting ready for a nice breakout. And of course, there is always the possibility it could break lower, but at this point in time, I still associate most of the moves we're seeing here with gold and silver with global political uncertainty. If anything, the rise in tensions to me sees this more of a safe haven move, and I'm not seeing that residing or working back anytime soon, and therefore I still expect this to ultimately break out to the upside. So that is still on my watch list for a nice potential bullish breakout. Silver continues to climb, and a big part of this is that ultimately silver silver has not really been climbing as much as gold. I mean, it's here at 2011. It only broke through this year past its 2011 highs. It is absolutely parabolic. It's definitely overextended, but it still has more upside potential. We'll see. And at some point, yes, I do expect these to come back. At some point, I do expect there to be a correction. And the question is, will that be anytime soon, or will we see the possibility that that could be sometime well into 2026? That's something we'll have to have a look at. It'll potentially take a couple of weeks before it starts turning around, so we should have enough notice. Moving on, let's have a look at crude oil. So crude oil continues to drip low. So one of the things I want to highlight here is that the monthly trend is down, right? And it has been going down for quite a while. And the weekly trend is actually producing lower highs and lower lows. And it's also produced a nice bearish candle this week. So the momentum to the downside is very much in place. It's very strong. But the daily as well is very, very messy. So it makes it incredibly difficult to trade as a trader because it is not offering clean trends. And I think that part of the reason for this is possibly that speculation has departed crude oil. It used to be something that we got quite involved in, but I think now that we are moving away from our dependency, and not completely, not at all, but we are drifting away from our dependency on crude oil. We're not seeing the necessity to drive. It doesn't drive our cars. It doesn't impact us personally. That doesn't mean that it isn't being used on a national level in some areas in terms of heating oil and various other uses that it absolutely does have, but it really does seem to have lost the appeal for speculation for most people. And I think this has removed a layer of activity in this market here. We just don't seem to be that invested in what happens with oil anymore. And so I think the end result here is that we're seeing normal transactional behavior, but we're not getting that additional injection of volume, which tends to strengthen any existing trends. So that's just by way of an explanation here. But for the most part, I still continue. I'm still of the opinion this continues to head lower, and I think that once we break through this level, we'll see it continue to drop. And that means that the overall direction is downside. So that being said, let's have a look at the global indices. All right, so we pulled back. We produced a very nice, strong bullish candle. We followed through. Last week was nice and strong and bullish, and currently this week we are pushing up a little bit higher. If we just go in and look at this from a closer perspective, you'll see we are battling with a little bit with resistance over here. Now, normally, as we head towards Christmas, we can often get something called a Santa Claus rally, which sees in anticipation of an increase in orders and shopping ahead of Christmas, we often could see an increase in production, and so we get this bullish response to the markets. And it's interesting because this year some people are concerned that we're not really going to see that, and mainly again as a result of the increase of cost of things and a sort of almost a general lack of enthusiasm. The question is going to be, are we going to continue to see that? But what I have to say at this point is that this trend is still intact. We are still very much in a bull market. And so the prevailing direction at this point in time is still to the upside. Let's have a look at the S&P. S&P as well. You can see here again, bullish week last week, a bullish candle the week before, bullish candle last week, and of course just battling a little bit with this level of resistance. So for the last couple of weeks, the market's not really going anywhere, but the prevailing trend is still very much intact. One of the things I am looking at, excuse me, here is NASDAQ as well had a very nice pullback here. And every time we get a good pullback on the indices, that's usually lets off some of that buying pressure, where if we've been overextended or overvalued, this is usually a very good correction, even if it's only a temporary correction in the markets, but it lets off some of that buying pressure. So right now we're seeing the markets here, they're still drifting to the upside. And at this point in time, they are still leaning bullish. So at what point would I be concerned? Well, certainly on the weekly, I'd have to see price starting to break below these lows, and I'd have to see it happen across the board. I'd have to see it happen on the Dow. I'd have to see it happen in the NASDAQ and the S&P. And really that would start to indicate if there was a shift in sentiment. We're not anywhere near that at this point in time. Are we starting to potentially lose a little bit of momentum? Is it possible that in 2026 we could see a market that goes predominantly sideways? Yes, that is a possibility. And if that was the case, we would start to see this starting to roll over. We'd see some bearish momentum here. We'd see the market starting to test these same levels a lot more where the recent highs are on the weekly chart. But again, that's a very long, slow process, and we're not anywhere near that yet. Okay, so for the time being, the sentiment remains predominantly bullish. Even here, for example, if we look at the FTSE on the daily, not offering a lot of clarity. Let's go have a look. Let's go out. Let's zoom out. The weekly here producing a very nice healthy pullback. We could see a nice bullish candle. We could see an attempt to follow through, but not really doing anything. So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we haven't really gone anywhere. If we have a look at it from a monthly perspective, we are actually looking at a point where we could potentially see ourselves pulling back. So again, this could be something that ultimately only triggers in January. January is an interesting month because it can be something that triggers a correction in the markets, a normal, healthy correction. And of course, it can be a month where the markets have decided they've had a bit of a break and actually they decide to kick off. So I'm just looking at it from both perspectives and we will see how it plays out. But just realizing that at any point now, a little bit of a 1 or 2 month correction here into the moving averages would be a very healthy just correction in terms of letting off some of that buying pressure, but by no means necessarily a big red flag, not at this time. Having a look at HK, so this is Hong Kong, the Hang Seng, and we can see here it's producing lower highs coming in to test this level of support. So this one is indicating that it's likely to have a bit of a correction, but to be fair, it is one of the weaker ones globally. Let's have a look at Euro stocks. Euro stocks here also overall looking very nice and bullish, but again, coming up and testing that level of resistance right now where the markets appear to be encountering a little bit of a struggle. And one last one, let's have a look at Spain, which is still on fire. So here you can see we did have that pullback, very nice bullish weekly candle. Last week also continued to be very strong. And so the reason I'm showing you all of these different ones from around the world, first of all, is to group the US and non-US indices together. I think that that's very important. We need to know how much what's going on in the US is impacting outside the US. And there is some impact, but the difference is that historically in the past, when the US has had the sniffles, everybody else caught the cold or caught a cold. And that doesn't appear to be the case at the moment. And that is quite unusual, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm going to continue to monitor how we play out between now and the holidays. It's very possible that between the week of Christmas and New Year's, I won't produce a video here because I'll be on holiday, and I think that all of you should be as well. And there's no reason to trade between those 2 dates because the markets are not doing anything, and anyone who can actually has the ability to move the markets is absolutely enjoying either a skiing holiday or they're on a paradise island somewhere. So let's just keep having a look at the markets. But interestingly, going through all of this, the stuff that is currently showing the best potential happens to be either gold or silver, and the yen crosses. So I don't really see the yen pairs changing anything necessarily anytime soon. But with regards to the dollar and with the global markets, we're just going to have to play it a day at a time. But you know what the big difference is that April through till June, they didn't really do very much at all. But if we look back the last month or two, they actually have been moving. So there we go. There is money to be made in the markets, and I look forward to chatting to you next week. So just potentially keep in mind that as we head towards the holidays, you're going to be winding down and enjoying a time of relaxation and spending time with your loved ones. Thanks. Speak to you soon.